First at 9. This is Other Derana 24/7.
In tonight's headlines, Commission of Inquiry questions Finance Secretary on the bond issue. Bar Association President says he acted in accordance with the law in nominating High Court judge. National Freedom Front withdraws from the UPFA coalition. And astronomers find 7 Earth-sized planets around a nearby star. Good evening, live across Sri Lanka. This is Other Derana 24/7, Sri Lanka's premier news channel. Welcome everyone to News Tonight. I'm Mahesh Johnny. Here's a first look at the local stories. The global consultation on migration health ended in Colombo with the participation of President Maithripala Sirisena. Sri Lanka co-hosted the consultation with World Health Organization and the International Organization for Migration. Migrants who arrive in Sri Lanka legally are a blessing to the country. Illegal migrants will create problems. Just as other countries, my country too faces many problems due to the refugee issue. I think the reason you have chosen my country to take part in this is because Sri Lanka is the first country to make policies on migrant health. I believe this is an example to other countries as well. A group of representatives of the Chinese Communist Party has reiterated that China will continue to stand with Sri Lanka as a true friend. A group of senior members of the Chinese Communist Party, including the head of the International Liaison Department of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of China, Song Tao, met with President Maithripala Sirisena at the President's house today. During the meeting, it was discussed in detail matters pertaining to enhancing relations between the Sri Lanka Freedom Party and Chinese Communist Party. The President has pointed out that enhancing relations between the Sri Lanka Freedom Party and the Chinese Communist Party is important for ties between the two countries. Meanwhile, Song Tao met with Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe at the Temple Trees this morning. During talks, the head of International Liaison Department of the Communist Party assured China's fullest support to Sri Lanka's efforts in becoming the hub of the Indian Ocean. Prime Minister Wickremesinghe had also accepted an invitation by the Chinese President Xi Jinping to attend the One Belt, One Road conference to be held next month in Beijing. In one of our headline stories, the Presidential Commission of Inquiry investigating the alleged central bank bond scam reassumed sitting for a third day today. Finance Secretary Dr. R.H.S. Samarathunga appeared before the Commission today.
Attorneys representing the AG's department questioned the Finance Secretary on a gazette dated January 1, 2015 concerning the bond issuance. The gazette notification 1895/19 was scrutinized due to contradictions between the date of the bond issue and the date of gazette publish. Attorneys highlighted that until February 27, 2015, advertisements indicated a $1 billion worth bond auction. However, during the auction, which took place on the February 27th of 2015, Treasury bonds worth $10 billion were auctioned. In this backdrop, attorneys representing the AG's department raised questions as to how the gazette issued on January 1, 2015 specifically indicated an issuance of $10 billion worth of bonds. The Treasury Secretary told the Commission that he had no knowledge about the gazette. The said gazette has been issued under the former President Mahinda Rajapaksa's name in the capacity of Finance Minister, although at the time of auction on February 27, 2015, former President Mahinda Rajapaksa was not holding the ministry due to regime change. An attorney noted here that a gazette could be antedated. However, it was argued by another attorney that the gazette was published at the end of the year after the auction had taken place. Chairman of the Commission said that the specific date on which the gazette was published will therefore be verified by the government printer for further proceedings. The Presidential Commission of Inquiry will convene on Monday for further questioning.
Also in our headline story, President of the Bar Association Jeffrey Alagaratnam says that he took proper action when nominating R. Kannan as a High Court judge to President Maithripala Sirisena. Alagaratnam says it was unfortunate that certain quarters of the legal fraternity have misunderstood this, leading to a delay in the Bar Association election. The president of BASL was speaking to Ada Derana amidst allegations against him that he acted against the law when issuing a letter of recommendation on the appointment of High Court Judge R. Kannan.
The scheduled election for president of the Bar Association was postponed until further notice when the Judges Association said it would boycott elections as the incumbent president of BASL, Jeffrey Alagaratnam, acted against rules. However, Alagaratnam refutes allegations.
There is a misunderstanding of how things happen. This appointment of members from the unofficial bar, there has never been a practice of having them approved by the Bar Council and the Executive Committee. We have had several members appointed to the unofficial bar. And I like to say that we have always had a tradition of persons being appointed not only from the career judiciary but also from the official bar, Attorney General's Department and the unofficial bar. What happens usually is that the leaders of the bar are consulted. And the leaders make their own inquiries to see whether people are suited and make the recommendation for the appointing authorities to in turn make their inquiries. So this can be seen in so many unofficial bar members who were appointed to the Supreme Court. You had Mark Fernando, you had recently Prasanna Jayawardena, you had even High Court judges appointed from the bar. None of these people were appointed after the Executive Committee and the Bar Council approved it. And that will be an unhealthy practice if that has to go before those two bodies, because then it will be like political campaigning.
Instead, he laid down a chronology of events that led to the appointment of R. Kannan.
For over 1 year, there has been a shortage of Tamil-speaking judges in the northern and eastern provinces. Representations have been made from the lawyers from those areas due to the delays in hearing cases and the work piling up. These matters were discussed by officers of the Bar Association with officers of the Judicial Services Commission, including His Lordship the Chief Justice. Then Kannan's application or nomination came from the President of the Particular Bar. And as I told you, bars don't pass resolutions. The President recommended him of Particular, saying he's a good candidate. Why don't you forward this person up for appointment? Kannan was then in Batticaloa. He had almost over 17 or 18 years practice as a lawyer. Then it came to me as the president. I made my own inquiries because I don't know who Kannan is. And because of this shortage of Tamil-speaking judges, I referred it to His Lordship the Chief Justice. I said, this person is there because the Akkarapattu person was not materializing. Then this was in September last year. He said, okay, send it to His Excellency. Then in December, I understand His Excellency sent the papers to the Chief Justice as well as to the Attorney General. They both agreed. According to the Constitution, it's not His Excellency who appoints alone, or I can't go and force him to appoint. He has to consult the Attorney General and the Judicial Services Commission, which he did, both approved. So all three of the appointing authorities agreed to appoint Kannan. So this is not a situation where I did something wrong or where I used undue influence to have Mr. Kannan appointed.
He insisted that the matter not be highlighted as a communal issue.
So, to confuse our elections with the appointment of Mr. Kannan is unfortunate. And I think it's not the way to go. So, it's very unfortunate that people have misunderstood the role of the Bar Association President and the role of the Bar Association in unofficial bar appointment to make it a political issue and a communal issue, which is very unfortunate.
Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa says although his regime was able to relieve the country's debt burden significantly, actions of the present government to halt development project has pushed the government into further debt. He made these comments speaking to media at the Abhiramaya Temple in Narayanpeta today. Even then, they followed the policy of selling state resources. It is regrettable that members of our party who have joined the UNP are also following the same policy. The country's development activities are halted, resulting in the current consequences. But they blame the situation upon the Rajapaksa regime. However, the intelligent people have come to an understanding on what is happening. We had reduced the country's debt burden to 70%, but it has risen again.
The former president also responded to questions raised by journalists.
Yes, they are saying that it will be held in May. Every party is preparing for that. All we say is to hold the elections as soon as possible. Don't ask me all this. We cannot execute anything by revealing our tactics, can we? We never knew until the meal of hoppers, did we? It should be the same here. Minister of Health, Nutrition and Indigenous Medicine Dr. Rajitha Senaratne calls for more research to propagate alternative medicine in Sri Lanka. He said this speaking at a media briefing to launch Mahajana Subadhana International Healthcare Exhibition and Medical Symposium 2017 to be held in Colombo in July. The exhibition and symposium will be organized by the National Chamber of Commerce and Ceylon College of Physicians with the objective of developing Sri Lanka's medical sector while creating awareness among general public advances made in the field.
The first doctor to arrive in Sri Lanka in 1848, they would have started the practice in after 1850. In all that years, our health was looked after by the indigenous medicine people. That is why we want to, there is a lot of research done. And you must understand that there is herbal medicine, herbal products have a market of $54 billion last year. That's a huge market. I want to bring all the herbal product manufacturers all over the world to Sri Lanka.
In other local stories, the leader of the National Freedom Front, Vimal Weerawansa, informed the General Secretary of United People's Freedom Alliance through a letter that NFF will withdraw from the alliance. The letter was sent today following a statement made by UPFA General Secretary Mahinda Amaraweera in Parliament today that if the NFF required to withdraw from the alliance, they should inform the same in writing. Meanwhile, speaking in Parliament, leader of National Freedom Front, Vimal Weerawansa, said they have not given up the political relationship with the joint opposition within Parliament. Well, in one of the most exciting news that was announced recently, seems like the answer to the age-old question, are we alone, might have got somewhat of an answer. A huddle of 7 worlds, all similar in size to Earth and perhaps warm enough for water and life it can sustain, has been spotted around a small faint star in a constellation of Aquarius. The discovery was made by astronomers working with NASA's Spitzer Space Telescope, raises the prospect of finding life outside Earth.
A system of 7 Earth-sized planets were found orbiting a small star around 40 light-years away. The planets are located extremely close to the star, but its small size and low temperature endow them with relatively mild climates, with 3 of them said to possibly contain liquid water. 3 planets of the system were first detected in May last year through the ground-based TRAPPIST telescope in Chile. Subsequently, the Spitzer Space Telescope, assisted by several other ground-based telescopes, confirmed the presence of 2 planets and discovered 5 more.
These planets are among the best of all the planets we know to follow up, to see. The discovery gives us a hint that finding a second Earth is not just a matter of if, but when.
So TRAPPIST-1 is much cooler, much smaller than our Sun, and so the planets in its habitable zone are much closer to it, very close to it, with very short orbital periods. Having 3 of these Earth-sized planets in this habitable zone is very promising for the search for life beyond our solar system.
Meanwhile, in Sri Lanka, research scientists of the Space Technology Division of the Arthur C. Clarke Institute for Modern Technology, Indika Madagangoda, spoke to us about the rare discovery.
The speciality, the exciting of this finding is all the planets, there are 7 planets actually, are believed to be Earth-sized planets. 3 of them are in habitable zone. There is a kind of chance of having liquid water in these 3 planets in the habitable zone. So this is a kind of big discovery of searching extrasolar planets in the area of astronomy.
This is the first time that so many Earth-sized planets have been found in orbit around the same star, an unexpected haul that suggests the Milky Way may be teeming with worlds that in size and firmness underfoot at least resemble our own rocky home.
We'll have more local stories after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Derana received a number of awards at the DS Students Brand Awards ceremony organised by DS Senanayake College, Colombo. The awards ceremony was held at the BMICH under the patronage of Minister of Parliamentary Reforms and Mass Media, Gantha Karunathilaka. 9,000 students had voted in survey to select winners. Kavisha Vihanga, who plays the character of Podihamduruwa in TV Derana's Sidhu teledrama, was presented the Most Famous Child Actor Award. Derana's Chatur Alves was picked the Most Famous Announcer among students. In the meantime, TV Derana won the Most Famous Television Channel Award. Meanwhile, the Manusat Derana project initiated by Derana was recognized with a Special Merit Award. The second day of the Manusat Derana Nature Force project to plant 1 million trees got underway at the President's College in Kotahena as well. Udumbara, a flower said to bloom only once in every 3,000 years, was found in Methiyagana, Kurunegala recently. The flower is said to have bloomed on the dashboard of a three-wheeler belonging to J. Shripathy Kalinga Jayasinghe from Methiyagane. Udumbara, a rare flower that has the meaning auspicious flower, is believed in Buddhist culture to depict great fortune or blessings. The flower is considered to be one that blooms on unusual surfaces such as metals. On to business news now. Stocks were higher after the close of today as gains in the plantation, investment, trust and banking, financials and insurance sectors led shares higher. At the close in Colombo, the Colombo Stock Exchange all-share rose 0.14%. With all the day's trading, here's RM Sivananda from the Colombo Stock Exchange.
The benchmark all-share price index gained 8.45 points to close at 6,138.14, while the S&P Sri Lanka 20 index gained 14.26 points to close at 3,553.11. The turnover was 356.38 million rupees with 22.05 million shares changing hands in 2,340 trades. The market capitalization at the end of the day was 2,700.04 billion rupees. Top 5 gainers of the day were Tessegronan Voting, Hapukasana Plantations, Penesia, Lanka Cement and CDB, while the top 5 losers were SMB Leasing, Shalima, Singh Industries, Browns Investments and Lanka Aluminium. Today there were 3 crossings and the crossing turnover was 147.87 million rupees. Today's foreign purchases was 141.09 million rupees and the foreign sales was 61.57 million rupees.
Meanwhile, the holiday-shortened stock market lost 0.35%. We have Upul Adhapathu from NDB Securities for the weekly roundup.
SPI dropped by 0.35% for the week, mainly due to price losses in John Keys Holdings, Shalimar and Ceylon Tobacco Company. But S&P SL20 that represent the blue chip counters recorded a gain of 0.27% for the week. This is mainly due to price gains in Nestle Lanka, RC Hospital Holdings and Commercial Bank. The average daily turnover was down from last week to 467 million rupees. Foreigners were active during the week, which resulted in a net foreign inflow of 102 million rupees. Out of the weekly turnover, block trades accounted for 43%, which was a lower proportion than last week.
Also in business news, the Sri Lankan rupee traded steady today as exporter dollar sales offset demand for the greenback from importers in the absence of central bank intervention. Rupee forwards were active with 2-week forwards trading at 153 rupees and 40 to 50 cents per dollar compared with Wednesday's close. The 2-week forwards had fallen 1% since Monday through Wednesday. Now here's a look at how the Sri Lankan rupee traded against other currencies during the day. More news right after this break. Stay with us. Well, time for the big match fever to sweep across the nation as the world-renowned Battle of the Blues will take centre stage for a record-breaking 138th consecutive year between St Thomas's College, Mount Lavinia and Royal College, Colombo. The match will take place next month at the SSC. The official media briefing to announce the details of the match was held yesterday at the Sports Ministry Auditorium.
The two teams will battle it out for the DS Senanayaka Memorial Shield on the 9th, 10th and 11th of March at the SSC grounds. Sports Minister Dayasiri Jayasekara graced the occasion as the chief guest along with the Warden of St Thomas's College and the Principal of Royal College. For the first time in the history of Royal Thomaian cricket, the umpire decision review system will also be in place in order to assist the on-field umpires throughout the match. Sri Lanka's premier lifestyle website Pulse will be the official lifestyle media partner for the Royal Thomaian encounter.
We have played 15 matches. We have won 10 first inning games. The preparation is very good for the big match. My boys have performed well in the season. So we have 6 guys who have scored more than 500 runs. Good bowlers as well, especially Himesh Ramanayaka.
Thomaians always goes for a win. We are always positive. There's a good side for them because they have 6 or 5 colorsmen. We don't underestimate them. We just play our game.
Also, more big match news. Thurston and Isipathana will play against each other tomorrow at the SSC Stadium in Colombo. In the spirit of the encounter, a motor parade took place in Colombo today. The motor parade started at Thurston College and travelled to Isipathana. The vehicle parade is an annual event held in parallel with the annual big match. Thurston College and Isipathana have conducted 53 matches. Thurston College has won 5 matches while Isipathana have only won 4. Also in sports news, the first test match between India and Australia started today in Pune. Batting first, the Australian team scored 256 for the loss of 9 wickets in day 1. Starting the Australian innings, Matt Renshaw and David Warner scored 82 in 27 overs for the first wicket. David Warner got dismissed for 38 while Matt Renshaw scored 68, which included 10 fours and 1 6. Captain Steve Smith scored 27 while Michelle Stark scored 57 of 58 balls.
Runs of the bat, so that's a 50 for young Renshaw. Well played.
As no batsman's pads were safe.
Well, he's given in.
Although Riddiman Saha did his best Superman impression for O'Keefe's scalp. Stark striking some lusty blows at the back end.
Oh, he's got that away. 50. And he's reached there with a boundary. Australia reached 250.
With Australia 9 down at stumps in Pune.
Australia will finish day 1. 256 for 9. And you've got a really good last wicket partnership going.
On to international news now. Malaysia has asked Interpol to put an alert for 4 missing North Korean suspects wanted over the death of Kim Jong-nam. Malaysian Inspector General of Police Khalid Abu Bakar said police had also formally requested an interview with the North Korean embassy's second secretary, who is wanted for questioning. Kim, the half-brother of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, died last Monday after a suspected poisoning while on his way to catch a flight to the Chinese territory of Macau from Kuala Lumpur. North Korea has furiously denied any involvement in Kim's death, publishing a strongly worded article on Thursday in the country's state media KCNA. It quoted a spokesman for the Korean Jurist Committee who said responsibility for Kim's death lay with Malaysia as he had died on their territory and criticized the investigation. Iraqi forces are vying for control over the Mosul airport today in a key part of the government's offensive to drive so-called Islamic State militants from the western half of the city. Iraqi Federal Police forces backed by US air support entered Mosul International Airport and have taken control of the runway, which had been sabotaged by Islamic State but still carried strategic value.
Federal police and rapid response forces backed by drones and heavy artillery advanced from several positions to storm the strategically key installation. The assault began with overnight airstrikes by the US-led coalition before armored columns advanced to the airport's perimeter. Islamic State militants have rigged the area with roadside bombs and are also firing mortars at the attacking forces. Iraqi anti-terrorism forces also stormed the nearby Al-Ghazlani camp, a military base just to the west of Mosul airport. The offensive to regain control over Mosul from the Islamic State militants has been raging from October, with the eastern half of the city successfully recaptured a few weeks ago.
Weather report is up next. Stay with us. On to weather now. The rainy condition is expected to enhance from tomorrow, particularly in the southern half of the island. Several spells of showers will occur in the eastern and Uwa provinces and in the Hambantota district. Showers or thunder showers will occur at a few places in the western, Sabaragamuwa and central provinces and in the Gaul and Mathura districts as well. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central and southern provinces during the morning hours. Now here's your city by city forecast. Well, that is a part of your world tonight, right here on Other Derana 24/7. For the very latest in international business, sports and weather, you can log on to www.otherderana.lk. Also, be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at Other Derana. Thank you for making us a part of your evening. I'm Mahesh Johnny. As always, we would like to leave you with a colourful look at fashion. The curtain went up on Milan's Fashion Week yesterday with Gucci's Enchanted Garden-inspired looks starting off the autumn and winter 2017-2018 season. Good night.
And information 24 hours a day. This is Sri Lanka's premier news channel, Other Derana 24/7.